Hi everyone, so thanks for coming along to this talk about our volunteer program. I'm just going to run through a bit about what the program entails, what kind of activities we have, and how you can get involved or get in touch if you have any more questions or want any more information. So I'm just going to share my screen. Got some slides here of some information. So my name's Laura. I'm the Environmental Engagement Officer at the Belfast Hills Partnership. So I'm responsible for our volunteer program and organising all the activities for the volunteers. And it's funded by the Ernest Cook Trust and the National Lottery Heritage Fund. So this is just a quick overview if anyone's not sure, kind of where we work and where our operational boundary is. So it's all the way from Carmoney Hill up in the north, right over to Slieve na Cloy down near Lisburn, and everything kind of in between. So that includes Divis and the Black Mountain, Cave Hill, Laganny Dams, Colinglen, and some other little parks in between like Glencairn, Valley Park, and there's Thronewood as well. And it's not just kind of environmental work. We work loads with the community, schools and everything as well. So just the kind of work that Belfast Hills is involved with, first of all, just run through a bit about the kind of work that the volunteers get involved in. So it depends on the season, really. The work can be quite seasonal. And it depends kind of what there is that needs done on the different sites. So I'll liaise with the different site managers and landowners. So for example, National Trust are in charge of management up at Divis. You've got Woodland Trust on Carmoney Hill, Belfast City Council on Cave Hill, and Ulster Wildlife up at Slieve na Cloy. So I'll keep in touch with the site managers there and see what work they need done. And there's like a really good relationship between our volunteer group and all those site managers, so they're happy for us to come in and get involved. So during the summer months, there'll be things like litter lifts and river cleans. Lots of path maintenance, as you can see in these pictures. Some pond maintenance and habitat creation. Invasive species removal, so that can be in the summer a lot of Himalayan balsam, laurel, pheasantberry, snowberry, seed collection, scrub control, so a lot of gorse removal from encroaching on different habitats. That picture down the bottom with the 4 images is taken out of non-native alder hedge up on Slieve na Cloy to replace it with some native hawthorn. And then planting season as well. We'll do a lot of hedge planting, stuff like that on different sites. Then just a bit more generally, other work going on within the partnership. So we work with students on some student projects, doing employability skills, some work experience, getting GIS training and other things to help with employability. We work a lot with school groups, primary school and secondary school. So doing things like nature walks, bug hunts, pond dipping, getting older groups out to do some field work, and surveys, and they can also take part in their John Muir Award and just do different activities, getting involved in the local environment. We run training and events, hopefully throughout the summer. We'll be doing that this year as well if everything allows. Habitat management and creation, so we've got a woodland officer working alongside the Woodland Trust and Belfast City Council on the Million Trees project, creating lots of small woodland throughout the hills. Wildlife and habitat surveying, so coming into the summer, our biodiversity officer will be getting involved in surveys for the likes of badgers, newts, bats coming into the summer months, and that's something you can get involved in as a volunteer as well if you're interested. Other areas at the minute, a big one's improving access with the amount of people that are using a lot of the hills during lockdown, working with different partners and landowners, responding to planning issues, promoting the hills for kind of recreation and to improve your health and well-being is a big thing, especially at the moment. And then fly tipping's a big one that came up during lockdown as well, being a real problem in a lot of the back parts of the hills. And other things like wildfires and just keeping an eye on everything that's going on. So way bit more about the background of the volunteer program. So it was set up within the Landscape Partnership Scheme, which ran from 2012. And then as part of that, there were over 2,000 volunteer days and over 600 people getting involved. In 2018, they achieved their Invest in Volunteers Quality Standard Award. So it's like a UK standard for volunteer programs. Just to say like all your policies and everything are up to scratch and everything's like as good as it could be. And that was renewed last year during the first lockdown. And even though things were a bit all over the place last year, we still got a lot of volunteering activities done, and we had 86 tasks overall, and 31 newcomers and over 600 people attending, to a value of £16,000. The volunteers do play like such a big role in the work of Belfast Hills. There's so much we wouldn't be able to get done without them. Huge areas of work that we kind of rely on them to get done really. So yeah, they're a really big part of the team, and really, really necessary within the partnership as well. Just quickly, I thought I'd share a wee bit about my own experience. Before getting this role, I was a volunteer with Belfast Hills for a few years. So I was a conservation volunteer. I started in early 2018. More just as a hobby to kind of improve my own well-being. And then also I kind of wanted to try out getting some experience in this kind of area because I knew that I was maybe interested in pursuing it as a career. I chose Belfast Hills because it was really flexible. I was working in retail at the time, so I was able to just come and go as I was able to with my shifts. There was a really big range of activities, and I was going to be able to get experience in a lot of the stuff I was interested in, like planting, surveying, and habitat management, that kind of thing. And it was really local to me, so it was easy for me to get to a lot of the tasks. And I got so much out of it. I got loads of practical experience. Without my experience as a volunteer, I wouldn't be in this job now. I learned so many new skills and got so much knowledge from it. I got to work with loads of other organisations, like I was saying, like the people from the Woodland Trust, Ulster Wildlife. We got to do tasks with them. So yeah, improved well-being, confidence and fitness. I'd say confidence is like a really big thing. I was able to kind of build up my self-confidence as I got more experience and kind of like knew what I wanted to do. Made loads of new friends. Loads of the volunteers are still there that were there when I started, and they've really helped support me like throughout starting this job, and yeah, they're the best. Yeah, and kind of a career path and just new opportunities, like it leads to so much that you wouldn't really think of. I got so many opportunities from it. From that, I was able to do my work placement during my master's degree, and I then went on to do the trainee ranger scheme as well, which finished last year. So yeah, it just led to lots of other things that kind of got me where I am today, and it kind of just cemented that this was kind of what I wanted to pursue as a career. Yeah, so there's so many benefits, as I said, as a volunteer, but for Belfast Hills as well. Like I said, they're vital for getting large areas of work done, and kind of recording like priority species and reporting sightings that they've seen of species that we might be looking out for. and then we can go out and maybe do a survey or something if needed. They bring loads of their own knowledge, skills, and ideas. Yeah, so a lot of the volunteers have amazing knowledge on birds or plants, and I definitely learn a lot from them. So you learn a lot from each other. And they're, yeah, and extra eyes and ears across the hill. So we have volunteer rangers as well who look after certain sites on the hills and just kind of do like monthly reports on anything, any issues, any tasks that they think might need done. Yeah, just things that without them we probably wouldn't we would miss. And yeah, for the volunteers, just increase physical and mental health. You get to pick up a lot of new skills and knowledge. There's also training opportunities. So hopefully in the summer, if everything's calmed down a bit, we'll have some training days on and some good sessions on like survey skills and like bird ID, tree ID, things like that. For like students and stuff, you get a lot of practical experience if it is kind of like the career you're wanting to get into, because you do really need that practical experience, because it is quite competitive, and even with like a degree or anything, you're still going to need that experience as well, and volunteers like a really great way to get that. It's a really good way to meet new people and make new friends. It's really good crack, like it's just a really good laugh and everyone gets on really well, and it's just like a really nice couple of hours out with like a really nice bunch of people. Aside from doing the environmental work and the social bit's like a really important part of it, I think, as well. It's just really rewarding. You can see after each task like what you've achieved and the improvement that it's made to the environment and the community. So it's just like a really nice thing to be a part of as well. So the actual tasks then, the regular conservation volunteers, they meet on a Monday morning and a Thursday morning from 10:30. We work till about 12:30 and then have time for tea and coffee and biscuits, the best bit. And that can be in different sites across the hill, so it changes each week, depending on the task. And there's a range of conservation tasks, like I was saying, just whatever needs done at that time that's been organised with the site managers. So if it's winter, it could be planting season, summer, litter lifts, Himalayan balsam pulling, things like that. There'll also be a group on a Tuesday morning working at our native tree and wildflower nursery, which is based at our offices. So they'll be doing like seed propagation and planting and like maintenance around the tree nursery. That's at the same time on a Tuesday. And then hopefully once things are back to normal a bit, we'll have the Saturday task back up and running. So that'll be the last Saturday of every month. And that'll just be like another practical conservation task at the same time as well. So each week I'll send out an email with the information of the task for the following week. And it's really flexible, like you can just sign up to any that suit. If there's none that suit, then you just don't need to sign up. You can just sign up so I know the numbers are coming, so I know what equipment and stuff to bring. All the equipment's provided, including gloves, so you don't need to bring anything with you. Everything's risk assessed. I'll go out and do site visits and do risk assessments. And I'll do like a health and safety chat at the start of each task, so everyone's like happy and comfortable with what's going on. Refreshments are provided during this kind of COVID time. We'd ask that you bring your own like tea or water or coffee or whatever, and we'll provide individually wrapped biscuits at the moment, but hopefully soon we'll get the tea and coffee back on again. Yeah, it's fully flexible, just as long as you let me know you're coming so that I've got the right amount of tools. And just recommend that you wear sturdy footwear, so boots or wellies. I'll let you know each week if there's like specific wellies or something, if we're going to be working somewhere really wet. And waterproofs if you have them, because a lot of the time we'll end up getting rained on. So yeah, while if we're able to get back out again soon, kind of still during while everything's still a bit uncertain, we do have a separate COVID-19 risk assessment which is available on our website on the volunteer page. We'll keep up to date with any guidance as it changes, and review what we're doing and just make sure that everything's in line with the guidance. Before Christmas, while we were still out, we were just doing reduced sizes of groups, so smaller groups, no car sharing, and just maintaining social distancing. So me shouting 2 meters, 2 meters, to make sure everyone stays well away from each other. But we're working outside, and it's usually quite easy to work on your own space. You don't need to be near anyone. We'll ask everyone to kind of use the same tool as they take out of the van at the start of the task. And we'll give you a pair of gloves to hang on to week, so you're not putting gloves back. There's hand sanitizer always there if you need it. The tools are left for at least 72 hours in between each task. Or if that's not possible, I'll clean them with disinfectant. Like I said, there's just individually wrapped biscuits. And of course, you only need to attend if you feel comfortable. If you're not comfortable with the situation, just you don't need to come. You can just wait until you're comfortable again to come out with us. Just a quick wee bit about the current volunteers. So there's kind of a regular group of around 15 to 20. Such a wide range of ages, all the way from students right up to people who are well retired. Everyone's kind of coming from a different background, has different experiences, and it really does make for really great crack and great conversation. Everyone's always having a laugh. Nothing too serious. It's just a good bit of fun. And that's just some quotes from a couple of the volunteers about kind of what they've got out of volunteering during lockdown, sorry. And how beneficial it's kind of been while we're in this situation, and kind of while it's really good to be getting outside back into nature for your own mental health, which I think everyone's kind of realizing at the moment as well. Yeah, so I've just put up some of my information if you want to get in touch. So that's my email address if you have any questions or you would like an interest form. All you need to do to kind of sign up, and once you email me, I'll send you an interest form to fill in. It's just a short form, just some contact information, your availability, and just some health questions. Once I get that back from you, then I can add you to the volunteer mailing list. And you'll get the weekly email then about what the task is for the following week, and then you can sign up accordingly to what you want to go to. You can check out the volunteer web page on our website. It has kind of like a quick overview of all the information. My email address is on there. All the policies are on there if you want to read through anything. The kind of roles and everything that we have, and there's a calendar on it as well that kind of shows what tasks are coming up, and all the links to our social media if you want to kind of see what's going on. I try and put up each week what the volunteers have been doing on the tasks and the work we've kind of been up to. So you can follow along on all our social media there. The talk we put on YouTube, loads of the other talks are up there if you want to have a nosy, or just other things that we've been up to as well during lockdown. So yeah, thanks for coming along and for being interested in our volunteer programme. I'll hopefully meet some of you soon. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to go ahead and answer.